Welcome back to the grind. In this video, we're going to talk about how to fly Hauhezen. Now, this is a little bit longer of a video, mostly because of the nature of Hauhezen. You have to wait for him to reverse and pass over islands multiple times, but let's get into it. The first thing to note is that shining outline around the waypoint spell, the white spell there at the bottom, you can see it's pointed at the diamond there right at the bottom. It goes around, and by the time it circles back to the top, you want to reverse before that, otherwise you'll lose your chance. So one way to approach an island with Hauhezen, if you're attacking appropriate level towers for the tier, is to apply the disable to the blue mage and then use temporal anomaly to dodge the initial shot, and then follow it with chrono shift because the blue mage will now be disabled. Then you can apply another stasis to one of the towers and hopefully destroy 2 to 3 other towers before using temporal anomaly to return. And then at this point you can use temporal anomaly again to allow you to interact with the next island and then reverse back to that island to save on some rage and ammo. Another option is to apply temporal anomaly from the island before the corner of the island you're planning to attack. Then you can either disable and reverse or fire a bunch of ammo first and then use stasis and then return to your waypoint after that. If you're quick enough, you can do it without taking any damage. This way, you've already destroyed almost or a full tower and the blue mage is disabled, so you can go right into chrono shift without taking any damage. And then applying stasis to the towers you're unable to destroy before you return to your waypoint once again. This is an easy way to have several towers destroyed and the rest of the towers locked down. And you always want to restart your waypoint as soon as possible, allowing you to reverse back to the earliest point possible in case you are unable to destroy the towers with your initial pass. If you don't want to bother trying to unload ammo first before applying stasis, you don't have to. You can simply just disable the blue mage, as we will in this clip. However, I was a little slow with the reversal. Thankfully, I didn't die, so just reverse a little bit earlier than I did here. After you disabled the blue mage, and you can even disable all 3 front towers with the range on this stasis spell, and then you return to your waypoint, allowing time to regenerate ammo and rage that you may have spent. And then you want to use temporal anomaly again as soon as possible, unload ammo on the turn if you can, and then use chrono shift as late as possible to dodge the shots unless there's an earth flag, because then it can be beneficial to use chrono shift before the super shot is activated, which will then prevent the towers from having more HP. One important mistake not to make is do not activate chrono shift when you're going to attack and undisable a blue mage. And while you're in chrono shift, once you use up all your rage, you want to disable as many towers as possible before it ends. Now, if you're able to leave a tower as an anchor on the island before, the timing for using temporal anomaly will be a little bit different. And once again, you can load up a stasis to save on some extra rage. Since this island has no blue mage, you can disable a tower and use chrono shift right away on this first pass, allowing you to destroy a tower even at higher tiers. Then you can return to your waypoint using that anchor again to gain some extra rage. And once you get back to the island, you can use temporal anomaly to dodge the initial shots here, and then go into chrono shift after to dodge the second shots and continue unloading ammo on the towers. If you can hit 2 towers in the front at once, it'll save you a lot of ammo. Since the ice flak disabled me, I had to reactivate temporal anomaly as soon as possible, and then I accidentally made the mistake of returning to my waypoint early. And this lost me a lot of ammo and rage potential, and it actually made it so I could not finish taking out that final tower. In this clip, we're going to do things a little bit differently. We're still going to use this tower as an anchor, set up the temporal anomaly early, and activate a stasis. We're then going to activate chrono shift early so that the towers do not use their super shots, and I'm going to disable the earth flak so it never actually is able to activate its super shot. Then I take out 1 tower and return to my waypoint as I did in the previous clip. And then once again, I'm going to use temporal anomaly to dodge the initial super shots and then go into chrono shift. The problem is the ice flak had an HP boost on it from the perch, and I attacked the ice flak first, so I wasn't able to destroy these towers before chrono shift ended. And I was forced to reverse before the mage super shot drained my rage, because that would have made this base impossible to complete. Here I use temporal anomaly to dodge the attack from the earth flak once I attack it, which is a good way to dodge any incoming damage or super shots when you are attacking a tower that was previously disabled. and then you use the perch as an anchor. You interact with the next island by taking out a tower, and then return to the previous island where you have the anchor to gain back your ammo and rage before continuing. And then before you face the island again, your spells are off cooldowns. This is a double defended base at appropriate tier for this level of dragon. And we're going to use this lower level tower here as our anchor so that we can use temporal anomaly to interact with this island and disable the blue mage and then return to the waypoint before taking any damage. Now they've also lost some super shots and I've disabled the blue mage, and then here I activate temporal anomaly again right before I take any damage, and I attacked the wrong tower by accident, and then I used chrono shift here and then destroyed the earth flak and the dark flak, as then disabled the ice flak here. And unfortunately I had a lot of time left on temporal anomaly, but I freaked out and reversed too soon, so don't make that mistake. And then next I take out the blue mage, allowing me to use chrono shift to destroy the remaining towers that are left. I used temporal anomaly, but it was disabled by the final shot of that ice flak, so I used it again before destroying that perch, allowing me to gain some extra rage once again and ammo and interact with the next island. And I was able to take out the blue and red mages before turning back to the waypoint and continuing on with the fight. Now, this base with level 91 towers was the most challenging for me to take out with my level 1 Vanguard Hauhezen, and I had to maximize my use of rage and ammo, so I did have to land a double disable on the back towers on that run there. And then when I came in, the blue was already disabled. I set a waypoint back there earlier as well, and then used chrono shift a little bit late, but I was able to take out 2 towers there with 1 stream of ammo, which was critical in helping do more damage to the base in a short time. Then I was able to use chrono shift again by the time I got back to the island, as well as set up another waypoint, and I used that to disable or to destroy 1 more tower. And then patience was very important, to use the most of this waypoint and let my ammo regenerate before returning to my waypoint, at which point I could use chrono shift once again to take out 1 more tower. And then I waited till I was over top of the blue mage after setting a waypoint so that I could damage the tower as much as possible without being in range of a super shot, but still have the ability to return after interacting with this next island and taking out 1 or 2 of those towers. And then I was able to finish off the blue mage, and then by the time I came back to island 2, I had chrono shift and temporal anomaly back off cooldown, allowing me to take out a couple more towers, disable some of those back towers. And then to maximize your damage potential, you want to have as much time for ammo regeneration as possible, which means you need to maximize your use of temporal anomaly. And you can maximize that by using chrono shift if you have rage available to prevent you from flying further, so that by the time temporal anomaly is available again, your waypoint is set again further back. This allows you more time to regenerate ammo, and then when you return to your waypoint, you've returned further back than you otherwise would have. And then you can continue doing this cycle where you set a waypoint and then use chrono shift as long as you have enough rage in order to keep this cycle going. And you want to wait until you have a full bar of ammo to try to burst down the towers if possible. And you can see I passed over this island, I think 4 or 5 times before I was actually able to finish destroying all the towers. If you're hitting appropriate tier bases, you don't need to pass over so many times, but it is an option to maximize his potential if you are hitting up. Now this is a long base with level 85 towers, which was also very challenging to defeat, and it is undefended despite there being a defender there. So once again, I set a waypoint on the prior island so that I am able to interact with it multiple times. Here, I disabled the blue mage on the turn. I let the ice flak hit me because it would not be a super shot, and then I'm able to use chrono shift before any of the other super shots or damage dealing towers hit me. And then I'm able to destroy 1 tower and disable the 3 towers on the front of island 4, as well as the ice flak, before returning to my waypoint. And then with the blue mage still disabled on that island, once I come around the corner, I can use chrono shift as well as set up another waypoint with temporal anomaly at the front of that island. You can see that these towers are so strong, I struggled to kill 2 of them with 1 chrono shift spell. And thankfully these towers at the back were low level, otherwise it would have been a big problem because I did not have enough rage to disable both of them, and I was already out of ammo. And then I let my ammo regenerate as much as possible. I tried to destroy the tower before returning to my waypoint, but it needed a couple more shots. And once I returned to my waypoint, I used chrono shift again to destroy one more tower and applied another temporal anomaly at the start of the island, so I was able to return to the waypoint at the beginning of the island once again. So you can see that this cycle of placing a waypoint, using chrono shift, and flying over disabled towers while you're regenerating ammo is critical for Hauhezen's gameplay. That, along with the several different ways that you can approach and enter an island depending on what the setup is and depending on how strong the towers are. So I hope this video was helpful and gave you enough examples of different setups and different ways to fly Hauhezen to help you better understand how this dragon will be used and if it's a dragon that you think you could learn to fly and enjoy flying. So good luck, and I'll see you in the next video.